Hey guys, it's Kate. I'm back with a quick journal update on my first journal. So I've got my cover that I showed you before. I sewed some pages. So I have 3 signatures, each with 9 sheets. So that will be 36 pages front and back. And that will be for each signature. So that would be 36, 72, 78, 108 pages in my journal. So I have a nice thick binding on the cover. So now I am ready to start folding my sheets right down the middle and put my signatures together. This is my first one, and I'm going to be binding. So I'm pretty excited actually. But I need to make sure each of my sheets is folded in half, and I need to do each one individually because they have different borders on some of them. So I need to make sure I'm going down the center crease. That way I can line them all up by where they should be folded rather than where I just happen to fold them if I stack them all up and give them a fold. So I'm just going to work on that real quick, and then I will be back and we can start putting this together. All right, I'm back. I've got my 3 signatures together. Now what I did was I kind of banged this down and I got them all lined up along the bottom. Some of these pages are a little bit taller than my journal by about a ½ inch. So I have them all lined up along the bottom so you can see it's all even down there. And up here you can kind of see some of those stragglers sticking up. So what I'm going to do is take each signature, and I am just, and by the way, the sides, I'm okay with them coming out of the side of this book because I'm going to be having some tags and different things on here. But I'm going to clip these together to keep them tight. And then I'm going to kind of eyeball where I've got my paper, and I'm going to trim some off with my ruler. So I'm going to trim off right about a ½ inch, and then we'll see how it fits. And that is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with the next one. Now I want to make sure too that I don't have any sticking up high that shouldn't be. And then I'm going to clip these also. That way they stay together while I do my trimming. And same thing for this one. I'm going to take off the same amount. And we'll see how this fits. That's also perfect. And then last one. That's good too. All right. So now I am pretty much ready to sew. So some of these I want to make sure I have good contact on everything. I decided to line everything up toward the bottom so that these ones, I'm going to have 3 holes. So I want to make sure at least 2 holes get into every paper because I have a couple of these shorter pieces here. And I don't want them to be kind of in the middle right here where they might only have 1 hole in the middle. So I am going to try to start sewing my first one. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and I got this little kit on Amazon for bookbinding. I wanted to get an awl, and I got this whole kit with waxed thread and bone folders, a little ruler, thread, or not thread, needles, little pair of snips, and 3 little binder clips. And this whole thing was like, I think $7 or $8. I'll link to it below if you're interested. I just wanted to get a little starter kit just to see, because this is my first one ever, and I'm gonna see how this stuff works. I'm going to bind with brown thread today. You can feel the waxiness of it. It's actually like kind of a heavy spool. And let's see, this is the end I want. Okay, so I'm going to do twice the length plus a little bit. Maybe half. And I'm just going to grab my regular scissors. There's so much stuff just lying around my table. All right, so got my thread, got my awl. I'm going to use these extra clips and then pick out a needle. So this comes with several different sizes, and I think based on the thread, I'm going to choose one of these ones that's kind of in the middle. Maybe this one here. If I can get it threaded, maybe I'll go one bigger. All right, I had to try the other side. Okay, so before I start that, I've got it cut, ready to go. I'm going to move this aside a little bit, and I'm going to start by making marks on my cover. So I've got my measuring board out here, and I've got right about 2 inches wide for my binding. So what I'm going to do is grab a little marking pen, and then I'm going to use my ruler to help guide. So I know that my book is approximately 8 1/4, so I'm going to do a little over 4, and I'm going to line up right in the middle, actually. So at the 1 inch mark, because I have 3 signatures. So I'm going to go right to about 4 1/4, and then I'm going to make sure my ruler is lined up on my line. So let's see. I'm going to go just over 4. Right there in the middle. And then I'm going to come in about 1 inch on each side. And that's going to be my middle signature. Then I'm going to come over halfway. Actually, let me come this way. And do that. And this way I have equal distance between each of my signatures, approximately. I'm kind of eyeballing it a little bit. So now that those holes are in there, watching my fingers, keeping it out away from the awl. I need to take my little cap off. These are super sharp, but I'm going to poke through each of these holes. All right, first part's done. Now I'm going to grab my first signature. So this is the one that I want to be in front. This is going to be second, and this is going to be the back signature. So what I'm going to do is start with the back. So I'm going to get these all nice and lined up, get them clipped. Okay, let me make sure I have the right side up. And this is, all right. So I am going to center this in my book. And put in my first hole. This is much easier. Okay. Feel like I'm missing something here. Maybe I should be clipping everything together, but I think now we're cooking. If I kind of look at it sideways, it actually is pretty easy to see where the holes line up. Go figure. Okay, now the sewing. So I'm putting my needle through and through the center one. So I'm coming out from the inside. Okay, and then I'm going to leave myself a little bit of room here. Just like that. Then I'm going to come in to the top, the bottom hole. I am not a professional. This is my first time, so this is kind of how it works. My second signature, I'm sure, will be better, but I figured you could come along for the journey. All right, got my second one in all the way through. And it's pretty snug. Okay, now I'm going to skip the middle, go all the way to the bottom, go back out through the book. This needle head is a little bit wide, so where my awl went through, it kind of is hard to poke. Okay, so now I'm going through the center again, through my center hole, and pulling that through. Okay, so now I've got both of my threads through here. I want to make sure everything is snug, which it does feel snug. So I'm going to take my needle off, put one of these under the center, because we're going to tie it around this middle thread. So I'm just going to pull it extra snug, and then I'm going to tie it 3 times. And then got our first signature in. Isn't that pretty cool? So now we have the start of our book. So So you can see the pages that we put together in order. And this is what it'll be like when we go through it. And then here's our center. We got some writing areas. Some painted areas. We have some of that stitched paper packaging that I did. And then the back. All right. Hopefully this second one will be easier. Now, this is the front one, so I want the middle one next. So that's this one here. And I'm going to do the same thing, make sure it's kind of lined up. I'm going to find my middle pages, wherever those are. That's here. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm lining it up with the center. Let me get some clips on this again. It is easier that way. I'm going to move it out from the center a little bit so I still have room. Okay, that's better. Make sure I'm right side up still, because you never know, and I am. All right, now we're going to go through and go into these 3 middle holes. I'm going to line this up a little bit better. Push my awl through, and that's the first hole and the third. All right, now I'm going to grab that brown thread again, grab my needle. This is crazy. I'm really new at this, obviously you can see, but this is really fun to kind of see how this comes together. I think I might have found a new crafting love. All right, oh, I need to go out the center. See, you're seeing everything. All my mistakes. Okay. I'm going to leave a little in the middle. And then I'm going to come back in through the top. It's a little weird trying to find all the holes. I'm not sure if people do kind of like an easier way or what. But we'll keep on trucking. All right, now making sure to come back out that middle hole. And then back up through the center. The center one's actually kind of easy to come through still, because I'm just going to stick my needle under this side so I can pull the thread out on the other side so I can tie it. And I just want to make sure it's in here nice and snug, but not too snug. And I'm going to give it 3 little ties. And our second signature is done. Kind of like how these all sort of lay down when you open the book, but then when you shut the book, your pages all kind of stay together. Now I've got some sticking out here. I might trim these two really long ones, but I'm going to be putting some different things out the side, so I kind of like that it's a little bit chunky right there, but we'll see. All right, last signature. I'm going to try to do it this way this time. I'm going to make sure I'm lined up. Oh, I like it this way because I'm kind of looking over the paper flap and I can just kind of flip it down and see where I'm going. So I'm going to hold it really steady. Okay, so if you're holding it like this towards yourself, you can kind of look and kind of flip up and down, and you can line your awl up that way. All right, let me get some more thread. I'm going to stick this end inside the tube because that would be like unwinding the back side of the thread, and I don't want to accidentally do that. But it keeps kind of coming out. All right. All right, last thing before I start, I just want to make sure that I'm right side up, and I am, thank goodness. And then we can start sewing our last signature. And I keep going to this bottom one. I don't know why. But it's out the middle. And then I'm going in the top to come back up, but I don't, that's not really, that doesn't matter. So, all right, I'm coming back through. And see, this is what I mean by having two holes in each one. So this paper is kind of short. My hole just missed it. This one, if I had put it more in the center, it would have been a lot harder to keep secure. So I want two in every one at least. I'm going out the wrong hole. So let me get back to the right one. All right, and then back in the middle. Okay. And I'm just going to bring this over to the other side. This, I'm going to pull this one snug because it's a little bit short. All right. Now we have it on both sides of our thread. So now it can be tied off. I pulled a little too much through that time. It's a little bit more of a challenge to tie. But this looks good to me. Oh, I love this. These I just kind of stuck in here to kind of get that paper trained a little bit. But this is our journal. It's pretty cool. Now it needs to be decorated still, but I'm going to do a quick page through so you can see. These are from a Dollar Tree paper pack. These are some hand-dyed music sheets. I got these and printed them. They are public domain. They're like old artworks and stuff. They're like over 100 years old. This I created on my computer. This I hand painted. What I did was actually I created on my computer and printed one side, and I hand painted the other side of these. This is hand dyed. This is just a magazine sheet. More hand painted paper, packaging, hand dyed. This one is a little loose. I think I could have snugged that up a little bit, and we'll see. It is, I had thought I pulled it taut, but I might have still had some give. So I might try to untie and retie this to snug that up because I don't want that much give. So, but I will do that off camera because it's probably going to take me a minute. But I'll just keep paging through. And I love this. This is so much fun. So we finished our first signature, starting our second. More packaging and painted papers. We have writing room. Some more Dollar Tree paper packs. Dyed papers, printed papers, painted papers. Here's the center. There's so many pages. I love this one. It's like a bunch of cats taking a nap. It's an old sketch. And I thought it was really sweet. And there's so many different kinds of paper here. And I love how they all kind of look together. I kept on the same color scheme for everything so that it would all kind of work together. So here we are. This was maybe a bit ambitious for my very first journal project. I should have maybe done one signature and called it a day. But this is a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's very out of the ordinary, but it's also very arty. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Oh, also, for the paper cracking issue, this is going to crack someday. What I should have done was leave myself some empty space here so that it could fold cleanly, because basically, since I didn't split this box, when this folds over, it stretches this second layer of paper. So what I'm going to do to reinforce it is add some ribbon here and Mod Podge it on or something like that. That way, if this does split, it's not going to be a big deal. And I might even cut it and just attach the ribbon so that it is split. So when you open up the inside, there might be a crease here, but I don't know yet. But that's what I'm planning on doing for this. So hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Until next time, keep creating.